and welcome to this week's Karma Cards. So as far as energy goes, it's actually been, energetically speaking, a kind of mild week. The only astrological placement I can think of right now is that Venus is in a strong conjunction with Uranus, which are both in the sign of Taurus, which Venus rules. So Venus is at her strength, and she is merging with the planet of plot twists and surprises around the areas of love and abundance and what we're creating. And so I feel like this, the benevolent aspect of Venus combining with the surprising aspect of of Uranus actually creates this possibility for lovely surprises to be happening, especially in terms of relationships. Now, we're still feeling some pretty heavy-duty residual energy from all the solar activity that was really spiking last week. And I feel like the way it works is we get these really big solar energy influxes, and then we get time to sort of adjust to it before the next wave is coming. And we have a full moon that's coming up. It's actually coming up on my birthday. It's going to come up on April 5th. So of course there's going to be a full moon spirit circle on April 4th to celebrate this full moon energy coming in. And if you'd like to be a part of that, I'd love to see you there. This is the link, and it's also in the description below. But going back to the energy right now, I've been asking my team, like, what should we focus on during this time? Because of course it's like event after event is happening in the world. And again, we're on a speeding up process, right? Everything that has to be shown is going to be shown very quickly. And so there's a lot of events that are going to come forward. And it's hard to know sometimes what we should truly focus on in this energy, because a lot of it's designed to be emotionally triggering. It's going to trigger you. It might trigger your anger, might trigger your sadness, might trigger your indignity. It's just like, it's a smorgasbord of heavy feelings that are created with these events. And like I said, it's on purpose because it's time to get to the climax of this movie. So I asked the team, what is it that we should be focusing on or can be focusing on at this time? Because again, outside world can be very distracting, and if you get too sucked into this movie, it starts to become how you view the world. And what my team would like you to know is that there is so much more that you'd want to focus on than that. You are the remedy, as that song goes, right? It's like you are the remedy to any experience. And so the team asked us to consider tapping into some of the divine feminine's best attributes. And one of those attributes is obviously loving and nurturing. There's a playfulness that comes with the divine feminine, but also this great sense of nurturing, right? So the divine feminine represents this nurturing element and our ability to share the bounty that we have. So if you look at the female archetype, the female, right, gives birth or brings life to the planet. And how does the female do that? By sharing her resources. She shares resources with another to create life, and then sharing the resources that you surround yourself with to support life. And that's really the focus that they would ask us to look at now, is how can you connect with what you have been so plentifully given. You have gifts in your life. And I know that many times the word gifts gets kind of meshed with the ideas of talents. But really, a gift is something that you seem to have an abundance of. It's something, if you have an abundance of patience, if you have an abundance of curiosity, if you have an abundance of love for cooking, and I'm just like trying to pull things out of my head. These are just a few of the ways we can be gifted. And of course, our gifts were given to us not for our own use, but because they're meant to be shared. And so the focus this week is to consider all that you have been gifted, even your sense of humor, right? Your warmth, your willingness to reach out and check in on people. These are all beautiful gifts. And again, with this conjunction between Venus and Uranus, this is the time where your gifts, your ability to give and share of yourself and the bounty that you have is not only going to create beautiful surprises for those that you for those people in your life that you share your gift with, but something surprising is going to happen for you because you shared your gift. Now, of course, we want to share our gifts just from that pure place of a desire to share. But know that something new, something unexpected, something you haven't seen before can be revealed simply by sharing what you have. There are just so many amazing people in my life who are natural gift givers. And I want to celebrate all of them right now just by thanking every person who shares something from themselves on a regular basis. Thank you for what you contribute to this world. That's the energy we need right now. And to go deeper into it, that is what it looks like as we become more solidly fourth density individuals. Because at fourth density, we are really starting to get that we are a collective. And we're understanding it on such a deep and intrinsic level that we are absolutely connected in a way that, like a blanket that's woven, its fibers are woven together. You can't separate it, otherwise there's no blanket. Well, that's just like us, right? We are so woven together as energy that we are an inseparable force. But until we consciously recognize that, we don't play that experience out. Since this is a world of creation, that what you think it is, you get to play the game of separation if you want to, or you can play the game of unification, in which you start to really see how we're all connected. And then you actually start working for the good of others, because it's the same as working for your own good. And so to all the people who naturally do this without thinking about it, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I really believe that's most of humanity. I do. And that's another aspect of the divine feminine, is the divine feminine actually assumes the best in people until it's proven not to be so. And if you look at that, you really can see that in all children. Children really reflect that quality, that they assume the best in people until it's proven not to be so. And I know that in a world where things can look pretty dark sometimes, and in a world that on a lower frequency level is committed to the separation of people, it's committed to disjointing humanity, not unifying it. So it's easy to start to lose trust in people and start to maybe even believe the worst and prepare for the worst. And yet the message from the team is to counter that, right? Counter it with that belief that more in this world is actually good than not. And as you start to hold that in your heart, as you did as a child, then you start to activate the radiant field around the body. Your radiance becomes stronger as you hold that, because what you're really starting to do is see clearly that which is the truth. And the truth is that we are all one. And the truth is that the oneness is love. And it's so much more than love as we understand it. It's such a bigger energy. But it's hard to see it if we're focused on what is bad or what is different or what is wrong. And I am not saying, again, this is a tricky subject, because it can sound like I'm saying you should just deny anything bad that's happening. Like, don't look at it, just don't believe it, nothing bad is happening. And that's certainly not the case. It's more of an act of spiritual rebellion to be able to see these tragic events that are happening and still choose love, still choose to believe in the goodness of others, and still choose to want to share from your heart. And that's what they're trying to get to, is that this is the true counteraction. This is the true remedy of this time period, because this time period is sort of it's a test, okay? We're in these series of tests before we graduate, and graduation would equal an ascension. We move up and out. We change the whole frequency. And so these time periods are going to be tough, because you'd think that moving into higher frequencies, which we are, and they are here, that we would just see the best in the bed, like it would just get better and better, right? Why is it that it looks darker and darker the closer we get to this amazing transformation? And that is because everything that has blocked it from occurring has to be shown and revealed. You have to see it. You have to see the darkness we were sitting in. We didn't even know. And that was the hardest part of that cycle, is the Kali Yuga cycle, right? The Iron Age, the darkest of the dark, is you don't even know you're in the dark. And so as you start to see the light, as the light starts to come in and you start to feel it, then you suddenly become aware of two things at once. One, here's the light. And two, this has been a very dark place. And as you continue to move up and into the light, anything that is not of the light really stands out, really becomes apparent, becomes very strong. And it's very easy to get tricked into the illusion that it's still darkness. It is not. We are moving up and out of this darkness, and we are the light source. The sun is coming in, and it's coming into us. It's coming into the body, literally, and transforming us. We are that lightness, and we are shining it upon these systems and this paradigm that is so broken and so dark. And so it's easy to feel, as you're shining a light on something and you're looking at something dark, to believe it is still dark. The fact that you can see it, the fact that it's so painful to look at, is verification of the light that is around, that is emanating from you now. And so our team, our friends in the non-physical, are inviting us to hold this light quotient more, to literally, they keep showing me the Who's in Whoville, right? You remember the Grinch steals Christmas, right? And he's taken everything, and with the intention of crushing them. He just wants to crush them and make them feel as miserable as he feels. But what do they do instead? They start to recognize that, yeah, we might not have the tree and the trimmings and the presents and toys, but we have each other, and that's what it's about. And so they sing and celebrate the fact that they are together. And instead of being crushed, they literally illuminate the heart. They grow the heart that lives in the darkness. And so we're being asked during this period of time where things look awkward and sometimes awful and heartbreaking, to remember that we are the light, and it is our love and our kindness and our desire to share the best of us that will actually change the situation we see before us. We can either let it change us, or we can change it. And how we change it is through our unwavering commitment to love and seeing the light in others. And as we do, it's us that restores the world, and not the world changing us. And with that, let's do this week's karma cards. By the way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts on the message coming in from my team. Do you agree with the statement? Do you believe that we can affect this world by the energy we're holding, or do you believe this world has the effect on us? I'd love to hear your point of view. So let's get into karma cards. If you've never done the karma cards with me before, let me quickly show you how they work. I have 3 decks of cards: planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my spirit team what's the message you have for us this week. And I've got 2 sets of answers, a set in red, which are action related, and a set in blue, which are outcome related. And the way that you play is you tune in with your beautiful intuition and feel, what is the energy you need for this week? Are you looking for what actions to take at this time? Or are you wanting to see how things are going to resolve over this next week? And of course, you can always choose both. And while you're choosing, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is for March 29th through April 5th. And the flavor of this reading, we have Venus. We've been talking about this whole time. Freaking love it when they do this. Venus, like I said, is in that conjunction, a strong conjunction with Uranus in Taurus right now. In the sign of Libra, which is about balance and relationships. But interestingly enough, Libra is one of the two signs that Venus rules. Taurus being the other one. That's where Venus is now. And this is Venus's other sign, Libra. In the ninth house of mental expansion. So this is about us raising our higher consciousness. Let's see what it has to say. For those who are choosing action, your spiritual action at this time is to cherish relationships as if they came from God. I mean, I almost want to cry. That's great. It's literally what it's telling us to do, right? Share your gifts with those that you love. There is something special here. But not only that, our relationships literally come from God. Our relationships literally are God. If we are all aspects of God, then every time we're in relationship to anything, actually, we're in relationship with God. And so when we start seeing life in this way, when we start interacting with life as if we are interacting with the Creator itself, miracles, beautiful things, something unexpected that you can't possibly comprehend right now comes forward. It shifts your entire perspective when you start to see God everywhere. The mental action at this time, enjoy the beauty of philosophies and laws involved. All right, so it is a good time right now to actually think philosophically. It's a good time to go to texts that help to raise your frequency and raise your consciousness, whatever they are. It can be a religious text that's deeply meaningful for you. It can be anything that helps you consider the world at large or even past the world, even better. But something that takes you out of that day-to-day context and into the larger context of what does this all mean. These kinds of teachings are really going to strike a chord in the heart right now and probably illuminate something for you on a deeper level that's going to help you see this bigger picture. Physical action at this time. Charm, art, and beauty are the way to do it with your partners and do it in a big way. So again, the gifts, charm, art, and beauty. I keep thinking these are like, they're the gifts, right? So it's the things that you do for someone. Like just the other day, my son, out of the blue, he just wanted to do something nice for me, help me feel better. And he made me like a little snack, right? Like just this effort put forth about him thinking of me. And you know when a child does it, you're just like, you just feel how deeply they care, right? And I think that sometimes as an adult, we get kind of locked into our perfunctory actions. It's like I have to wash the dishes, or I have to make dinner for people, or I have to pay these bills or something, and we stop seeing it as an action of service. And I think that you can still do the things you're doing in your everyday life, but right now start to see the beauty behind what you're doing, right? If you're doing the dishes, one of my least favorite tasks, see the beauty behind it. See the meal that was prepared on it, that nourished someone. See the meal that's coming, that you're preparing for. Connect it in a deeper way and recognize that this is something that you are gifting someone and sharing. Even if it's gifting yourself, that is included in a relationship to something. To be in relationship to something, you can be in relationship to yourself and be in relationship to something. So this isn't limited to what we do for other people, although when other people are involved, we can really see the impact of it for sure. But it is to see that what you're doing, the gifts that you're sharing, being willing to set up this equipment, hang out here and connect with my energy and share it with you, right? I can look at that and see it as the gift that I'm giving. And I want you this week, the team is letting us know, see the gift that you're giving and what you're doing, and in doing that, it helps to make the thing that you're doing itself feel bigger. You start to connect to the energy of it, why it's important. It raises things up to another level. And there, of course, this can always be expanded upon too. So I'm saying you can take it from wherever you are, meaning you don't have to add or do more. You can simply invest more in what you're currently doing. But the next way you could read this is, yeah, you could invest more. You could do a grander action in a bigger way, and really let it be known that you are sharing a gift. However, there's a caveat in that one. And the caveat is that to be truly service to others when we're performing an action is not to do it for validation, because then it becomes self-serving. So it's tricky. If you can do the bigger action and let go of the need to be validated or recognized for doing it, then it moves back into service for others. That's why I'm saying one of the easiest ways to start with this is simply to recognize what you already do and recognize how the depth of that action and the meaning of that action on a deeper level. And when you start to see that, then you start to feel the gravitas of it, and it really has more of you really start to feel the love you're putting into things, and then you naturally want to put more love in. All right, so now let's look at outcomes for Venus in Libra in the 9th house of mental expansion. The spiritual outcome at this time is the attraction of cooperation to respect spiritual values. So again, naturally what's going to happen, one of the things that you can kind of know is going to happen, is that as you put out a wave of positive energy, whether or not, again, let's say you're putting it out there and you're like, okay, I'm not going to ask for validation or seek approval. I'm just doing this because I want to express this. Well, guess what? What the natural reaction to it is people sync up with you, right? So remember, the highest vibration in an area, that becomes the strong point. That becomes what everyone else raises to naturally. So if you're in your home and then you suddenly start pouring all this love out of your heart into whatever it is you're doing, maybe you're folding clothes or getting people ready for bed, but all this love starts pouring out of your heart, there is a natural change in the frequency of the space, and suddenly everybody's energy starts to uplift and everybody starts to feel this sense of loving energy and cooperation. It's a chain reaction that happens, and because of that, that awareness kicks in, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is how life could be. And this is where you lock that in as a spiritual action. Like, I want to live like this as much as I can, right? These are the consequences of the kind of behavior where you are sharing yourself with others freely. Mental outcome at this time: pleasure from decisions about long-range thinking or travel. And again, the long-range thinking is really about thinking past this moment, past the current circumstances that you're in, past global events, and just see the biggest picture possible. What's the biggest picture here? And the biggest picture is humanity and our connection with this planet, and that planet's connection to our solar system, and that solar system's connection to a galaxy, and that galaxy's connection to a bigger galaxy, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? You're seeing how big this energy can go. And since there are no tools to measure how far our heart's energy can go, because the tool that we have that measures it the longest distance only goes 8 miles, and the heart's field goes all 8 miles. And so the measurement is inconclusive, because we know on a psychic level, we know the heart's energy is infinite. It will go out. It can go out to another galaxy. It can go out to another dimension, right? That's literally how strong our heart energy is. And it refers back to quantum physics when we're talking about spooky action at a distance. Which would be like, how does this atom over here in this one area affect another atom that is separate and over here. And it has to do with that wave of energy that gets sent out. So as you start to connect with, oh my gosh, my heart's field is immeasurable. Therefore, the intent I'm sending out, not only is it affecting those who are right next to me that I'm sending it to, but if my heart field is wide and open and it's going way out now, what is it really affecting? What happens when a bunch of us have open heart fields and we're sending energy out, we're sending love out, and we are spreading that? How far is it going? What impact does it have? Right? This is the kind of thing that starts to I don't want to say undulate in the mind, but you start really thinking about this, and this is what they're saying, this type of thinking brings a lot of pleasure to you, especially in this week. It's you're kind of getting it. It's like, I get that now. I feel it. And even though I can't get a conclusive answer about it right now, there's something about it that's so true to me, and I just know it. And then you start playing with it more, and then you get to see the ripple effect that love can have. Physical outcome at this time: good times resulting from the fairness shown by what is to be shared. Again, it's about the gifts that we have, that we are giving. The gift we were given is not given to us, it's given by us, right? It was put in our hands because you are the perfect gift giver for whatever gifts you have, and you have multiple gifts to share with people. So the more that we share that, the more we spread this energy, the more we are the Who's in Whoville singing and opening the hearts of darkness, right? And that's the saddest part about darkness, is those who are in the dark were born with hearts, but their hearts hardened. They shrank, and in some cases, it's almost like when you look at them energetically, they look like they got sucked out of the chest. The energetic heart, right? What can restore that? Because they're still a part of us. Those lost in darkness aren't separated from the whole. They're still a part of us, right? So what can you do to help them? And the thing that you can do is to share your love. Let it be known that darkness cannot stop love, but love can heal the darkness. And when we're not afraid to own that, when we're not willing to dim down our love just because darkness has reared its head again, but instead we respond with more love, truly amazing things can happen. And it's up to those of us hearing this to start, right? If you're hearing this message, it's meant for you. You are the one who is the domino effect in your particular area, and we're all being called. And I hope this message goes out far and wide and people hear it, because I wish for many dominoes to fall and so much love to be created that we're cascading and rippling over, and that we're truly lifting ourselves up and out of this period. The more of us do it more consistently, and that spreads, the faster this all goes. So I know a lot of us, I know a lot of light workers who are waiting. We're like, come on, it is time. I can feel it in my bones. It is time to go. And it's on us. It's on us to trigger the cascade event. And the cascade event is that of love and showing just how strong love is. And you don't have to do something extreme to show it. You just have to recognize that right now, in this moment, with whatever you've got all the tools to make it happen. And with that, I'm sending you so much love. Mwah! Have a beautiful week, and I will see you soon. Hi, my name is Therese Tucker, and I want to welcome you to Mercury Pod Coaching. I created this group coaching program to help you move out of procrastination and into traction towards your big goals. I know how it feels to dream really big and then all of a sudden find yourself sitting there spinning in place, not getting anywhere closer to your goal. It can be really easy to get caught up in feeling flustered and confused and not know what action to take, and so you completely stop taking any action at all. If this sounds familiar to you, then there's a good chance that you've got some mindset blocks in the way that are preventing you from taking actions right now that can get you closer to your big dream and create real change in your life. Here's what you need. You need someone who can see those mindset blocks and help you get out of indecision, move into inspired action, and do it quickly. And that's where I come in. So what is the Mercury Coaching Pod? It is a 30-day coaching program where you will have weekly coaching calls live with me to help you implement your plans and take action now. In this group coaching program, you will also get one private session with me where we can completely deep dive into what it is you're trying to create, and I can help you create the action tasks that you're going to need to complete in 30 days to get ahead. If you're ready to jumpstart your goals and get going right now, then you are the perfect person for this pod coaching program. So if you're interested, hit the Get Access button below. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in the Mercury Pod Coaching Program. All my love. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Until then, stay magical.